How are you guys doing? This is Ryan. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I just want to hop on real quick. It's been a pretty volatile week in crypto, nothing new. But I know there's going to be a lot of new people in the crypto industry, and there's just people generally looking for updates. So what is really going on with crypto? Why is it dumping? I believe Bitcoin is down from 47,000 all the way down to like 38, 39,000, right around there. Bitcoin Cash is down from about 300 down to about 225. Ethereum's down a few $100 as well. So in general, the whole market is down. And what happened? We got this Bitcoin ETF. This was supposed to be the game changer. This was supposed to be, Bitcoin. I was not pricing in the ETF. All the inflows coming. So what is going on? You were told Bitcoin's going to the moon, and Bitcoin is down a lot. So first of all, to answer that question, I think this is generally buy the rumor, sell the news. So I think the ETF was priced in quite a bit for like the short term. Again, this is short term. Markets move. Crypto moves more than most markets. It's part of what makes it very exciting. So secondly, markets are predicated on supply and demand. So anything you buy has to do with supply and demand. So what happened with the supply and demand? Let's say Bitcoin, for example. So Bitcoin was supposed to go up because there's supposed to be a lot more demand for Bitcoins, right? Versus supply. But we actually, saw, again, first the hype into buying Bitcoin, was very accelerated to the demand because the ETF was coming, and what that would mean, all this extra buying would occur. It turns out those kind of things take a bit more time than just overnight. And then secondly, if you saw the FTX, the exchange with Sam Bankman-Fried, stole everyone's money and was a complete scammer, sold himself to be this great intellectual human, and instead was having wild orgy parties in the Bahamas and paying off politicians with your money. And anyway, so their estate was forced to sell $1 billion in their bankruptcy state. So they had to sell $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, hopefully to pay creditors, which is, I believe I read. So that's a massive amount of selling pressure. So, what does that mean? There's, the inflows and outflows of Bitcoin over the past, week or so were, not in favor of the demand side. The demand was actually low. It was selling. And then secondly, the estate or the bankruptcy probably just thought it was probably a good price to sell the Bitcoin at for creditors. This is they can get more money for the people that have lost their money. So that's another reason why the crypto market is crashing. And I think overall when you think about the ETF, and so what actually I should also say, FTX did not sell, I think, BTC, the actual coin. They sold, I believe, GBTC. So Grayscale is a managed fund that allows access to cryptocurrency through a managed vehicle called GBTC or GBCH, or they hold various coins. My arms are a little tired. And then lastly, I think when you look at GBTC versus these new ETFs that are going to be offered to people, there's going to be a huge cost variance in terms of owning GBTC versus owning a Bitcoin ETF. So what do I mean by that? Managed funds, and currently GBTC cost investors 1.5%. 1.5%. That's in today's world, especially with ETFs, electronic traded funds, or exchange traded funds. Sorry, 1.5% is very high. So, where ETFs are typically around 0.5%. ETFs. Vanguard changed the world forever when they allowed investors a cheaper way to get access to the market. Sometimes returns, or managed rate funds were 2 to 3%. 1.5% is not terrible, but again, when someone is managing a fund, it's a lot more labor intensive, and exchange traded funds are more algorithmic and kind of just give you, snapshots, or just more efficient at buying, and they don't have such a high cost. So you could just be seeing, I don't think it's too much yet. I think this will be something over time, but you'll start seeing is dumping of GBTC in favor of ETFs. Now, when I say that, I also say that it may not all happen at once because the tax implications for selling, are not very good for investors. So you could pay anywhere from long-term capital gains around 15%, or short-term capital gains you'd be paying over 30% for your taxes. So saving that 1% may not be totally advantageous, but I think it may be new inflows, I do think something will happen there, especially if investors aren't completely sitting on huge profits. They may be in favor of a lower a fund with lower fees. So those combination of things, and in general, I think it was a lot of buy the rumor, sell the news. Which I said in my video, that in the long term, I do think the ETF will be good for crypto, in general. But what's going to really help crypto is just real usage. That's what's going to help. And what made Amazon or Tesla stock or any of these great companies today eventually become great, it wasn't the speculation on the asset. It was the long-term adoption. Now you see people incorporate Amazon into their everyday lives. But back in 2000, during the bubble run up, the stock went from $5 to $100, but now it's done splits and all this, and it's a multi-trillion dollar company, something crazy like that. So it's gonna be in the long-term usage. So just try to use crypto daily in your lives and find the best ones to use, and probably hold a little bit more of those than others. Coins I use daily, Bitcoin Cash, Doge, even a little bit now, playing around with that. A little bit, Monero, Monero has like this, if you're using it, you're doing something bad. No, I just think it's fascinating how it can be used. But these are useful coins. And that's going on in the market. If you guys have any other insights into what you think is going on in the market, leave a comment down below. If you enjoy this type of content and you like crypto and freedom, it's probably a good channel to subscribe to. Hit the notification bell so YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video here, which I'm trying to do a bit more of these days. I've been pretty good about weekly for most of the time. Sometimes I go to every 2 weeks, but in general I try to hop on here now that the markets are getting pretty exciting, and as we are anticipating another fun bullish season post the halvings in April. So Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash will be halving, which is very exciting. So see you guys in my next one.